US EVA 27 will start from the Quest airlock. Reed Wiseman, EV1, wearing a suit with red stripes, will egress first. Alexander Gerst, EV2, wearing a plain white suit, will hand out bags. And then after completing buddy checks, Alex will head to the starboard cedar cart to temp stow the MTRA bags for later use. Reed will translate to ESP2 to prepare the pump module install worksite. He will temp stow bags and then open the thermal blanket to allow for the pump module installation. Meanwhile, Alex will translate to the port cedar cart to retrieve the APFR, or the Articulating Portable Foot Restraint. Which he will translate to the SSRMS installation location on S0P1 interface. EV2 will install the foot restraint on the arm, swap his safety tether, and then ingress for his tasks. At this point, Reed will translate to the MTRA bags that Alex carried out and move them to the MTRA worksite to prepare for the task later in the EVA. There are two bags. One contains the MTRA box itself, and the second bag contains the 4 extension cables that they will install. Then EV1 will translate to EV2's safety tether and gather it and relocate it to ESP2. Alex rides the arm, which is flown by Butch Wilmore, to the POA to retrieve the pump module. The POA is a robotically controlled stowage site that we placed the pump module on during last December's EVAs. During the arm maneuver, Alex will rotate the pump module 180 degrees to get it to the correct installation orientation. And please note that the arm maneuver shown here is greatly sped up. Reed will help guide Butch and Alex to install the pump module partially onto ESP2. He will then remove the adjustable grapple bar, or AGB, from the pump module and temp stow it. And the crew will complete the final installation of the pump module, and they will use the PGT to drive the 4 bolts to secure it. At this point, the EV crew work together to stow the AGB on a spare ORU on ESP2. And the AGB is the method that was able to attach the pump module to the POA for that long. Reed then hands Alex his spare light bag. And while the arm flies Alex toward his next task, Reed will clean up the pump module worksite, including closing the thermal cover flap. Alex is flown to camera port 13, which is on the starboard side of the lab. He will first lock the camera pan and tilt unit, and then remove the failed light. EV2 will retrieve the spare light from his MLI bag. Install it with a single bolt in the electrical connector. Alex will then retrieve the handling aid used to install the light, and then he will unlock the pan and tilt unit prior to leaving the worksite. During this time, EV1 returns the pump module bag to the airlock. And proceeds to translate to the MTRA worksite. The MTRA worksite is on the zenith side of the MT. When Reed gets into position, he will remove the dead face connector that has protected the camera port since 8A. Then he will install the MTRA using the PGT. Reed will gather the red-yellow cable set and attach one end to the MTRA box, then route and mate the yellow connector, and continue down the port side of the MT to the nadir MT location to mate the red cable. Alex will fly back to ESP2 to clean up the SSRMS, including a safety tether swap, and removal of the APFR. He then releases the SSRMS from support for the rest of the EVA. And he will translate back to the airlock to stow the failed light inside the airlock. Alex then translate to the MTRA worksite to join Reed. EV2 will work the starboard side of the MTRA, where EV1 worked the port. Alex will gather the blue-green cable and mate the connectors to the MTRA. He will route the cables down the starboard side of the MT and install the green connection. And then hand off the blue connection for Reed to complete at his worksite. The crew will then translate back to the zenith side of the MT, making sure to secure all their wire ties to keep the cables out of the MT translation path. At this point, they will clean up their bags and return to the airlock. They will ingress the airlock, completing US EVA 27 in the nominal TAS.